So now that we have the full screen menu built and we have the menu wrapper also acting as a mask, because right now it's taking up the whole space, right? Let's remind ourselves of the structure. Menu wrapper is fixed at a Z index of 10 and takes up basically the whole screen. However, if we change the height and we've set overflow to, basically overflow is hidden, right? We've set it to scroll, so it will be able to scroll, but it basically clips everything that is inside. Basically, by animating the height of menu wrapper, we can basically mask out or reveal the menu. So it would be pretty easy to animate from 0 all the way to 100. And let's go ahead and do that. So we want this animation to happen when we click on the button. Now the button already has this hamburger click menu animation. Now we can add this on top of this animation, but then the animation itself might get a little complex. So for organization's sake, let's create this as another mouse click interaction, just so that we'll be able to manage these animations separately. Now on the opening of this animation, we'll create an animation and we'll call this open menu. Now, before I actually go ahead and do that, let me save this without creating an animation. I want to actually hide the menu that we have here. So I'm going to go here into the menu wrapper and I'm going to set the height into 0%. I'm also going to set the display to none, just so that nothing is clickable here, because remember that the menu wrapper as a Z index is on top of everything else that we have here. So we just want to make sure that nothing is actually displaying. So it's set to none. It's completely hidden. Now, if we go back into the interaction, let's see what we have here. Mouse click menu open. The first thing we actually want to do is to select menu wrapper and set it to show and display block. So this would immediately just make sure that it's visible. And note that I've created it's a duration of 0. So immediately as we click on the button, it now is being basically shown. And the next thing that we want to do is to animate the height. So let's add another one. Let's select size and then select the height and set this to 100%. Now, if I go ahead and try to preview this and just preview this animation, actually, it seems like nothing happens. I can't actually click this play button, and I don't know why, but if I'm going to select done and hit preview here and just click the button, that actually works. So the animation actually works and it opens. So not sure why we have this bug here, but let's go ahead and adjust the speed here to something like 1 with an easing of out cubic, just so that it opens up fast and then slows. Let's try to preview this and see if that looks nicer. Yeah, that looks like a smoother animation. So now the only thing that's left to do is to reverse this animation on the second click. So let's select the second click and do start an animation. We're going to do exactly like we did in the hamburger click 2. We're going to duplicate this and we're going to close, call this menu close, menu or close menu. We're going to first set the size back to 0%. And then afterwards, I'm going to take this to afterwards, I'm going to set the visibility to display none. So now it should basically first animate back into 100% and then set the display to none so that it's not going to be clickable. Let's give this a try, preview this. I'm opening up the full screen menu. Everything is selectable or clickable. Second click, and it's basically closing. Open, and then close. Now, this was really, really simple. Of course, if you want to make this more elaborate, you can, stagger the appearance of the links or animate this in as well. But this is a really, really simple way to create a full screen animation, and it's done.